Hey, we're back. We made it. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We were teasing you a little bit. I think we were getting near the end of the month here. Where's Collin? What's going on? If we're going to do this thing, sometimes it takes some last-minute planning to pull it off. How you doing, Collin?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. It's great to have you back here again. And it did seem a little longer in between the last one before.
Yeah, this month definitely stretched out, and there was a lot going on, and I thought about this, and I'm like, I gotta get to it, and then I just forgot about it, and then
David showed up on your phone saying, hey, what the heck's going on? Are we doing it? And you're like,
David's at a rescue on this.
Have you rescued David, or have you David?
Yeah, there we go.
Well, it's good that you're here. I know I was starting to get a few messages from people too saying, what's going on? So it's good we could do this. It seemed like, you're right though, it seemed like May did it seem like a bit of a longer than normal month?
It did, but it went by so fast. Like, yeah. I was like, May just started, and we're already at the end of the month here already.
Well, the number two weeks was on our brain, just over a year ago.
Yeah.
And it's it really, at the end of the day, it really seemed like the whole year. Has it gone by quickly as well?
I think so, yeah. Well, last year definitely was kind of just a wash, right? And then this year, it seems like it's kind of like some months are faster than others. Other months, it drags on. But this month was definitely one of those months that you really blink and you miss it.
Yeah. You keeping pretty busy though still, or how's things?
Yeah, the business is still booming. We didn't get a whole lot of a break this spring like we normally do. Like normally you get into like the between summer phase where the construction sites aren't quite open, but there's not really any weather for wrecks or anything like that. But this year, the construction sites have stayed open all winter because it was really a mild winter for us. So yeah, it worked out. We've just been running nonstop, which has been good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I know. The winter time is obviously a busy time of year, because people, they still need to be learning how to slow down, and not driving their vehicles over lumber on the highway, that kind of stuff. So. And then do you get, I always, if I recall, like summertime or like the first time that maybe the guys get their Mustangs and their Chevys and their whatever out of storage and onto the road for the first time, the rubber touches the pavement again. Is that a busy time of year too?
Yeah, we do get a lot of we got a lot of accidents, but we get a lot more like breakdowns and stuff like that. Because the cars, they sit all winter, and a lot of the time there's just the little general maintenance stuff that doesn't get caught in the winter. And you take it out for your first drive, and you're so excited, and you just want to get it out there, and then it's like, oh no, this isn't working today.
Right. Or we get out there and maybe we're ready to squeal the tires.
Yeah.
let's be honest about that, right?
That happens from time to time.
Get that foot out there. Same with the motorcycle, right? It's like looking at the weather. Yep. I went out one day. It was really cold. It's like, but darn it all, I'm going for a ride. And then by the time I got back, my index finger was
stuck like this,
stuck to the throttle, yeah. So there you go. So I totally get it. The Heavy Rescue 401, what a great season it was this past, and it was 18 episodes. Is that right?
It was 17 episodes.
Or 17.
Actually.
Okay. Yeah. That's like the longest season for Heavy Rescue, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the biggest season so far. I know it does shrink down a little bit next season just because there wasn't as much time for filming, but
Yeah.
no, it worked out really well. I think they got a lot of great content from a lot of teams across the province. So no,
Yeah.
it should turn out to be a pretty good season next season.
Right on. Well, we're looking forward to that. One of the great things about Discovery Channel, though, is reruns. I've
Yep.
been able to catch a few episodes of Heavy Rescue that I missed because, while I'm old, I fall asleep early sometimes. So, it's nice to be able to catch that. And folks, you can still catch that on Discovery Channel. Just check your local listings for that. All right, let's stop the mystery now. I know we put out on the Facebook page, and who will the guest be? And I'm really surprised we got him here because I thought well, I guess you can't really vacation right now, but okay, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, folks. Are you ready? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the man himself, Gary Vandenheuvel. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic
tonight, Dave.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. I have to ask a question that I think is on everybody's mind. I'm really, really wondering, what's the retirement date?
I have no date. All right.
Right. Okay. All right.
Just looking into the future. But
well, I think we talked, last month when we had Fabiana here, and we kept saying, like, what's this? What I was watching that video earlier today, so I can remember what I said. That one section of Heavy Rescue, Gary's like, I got to step back a little bit more. let Collin and the rest of the team do their thing. And we're like, oh, okay. And then like the next segment, he's right there. You can't make up your mind.
It's hard to stop. It really
Yeah.
is. No, I mean, for me, it's that transition with Collin, and it's a big task to take over. Well, Dave, you were there day one, and
yeah,
you really were. And you think back, right? One truck, and now we have 18. And that's not an easy and manageable thing. Collin's a young guy, so he's taking each role, taking a step at a time, and he's building to it, doing a great job, doing an awesome recovery operator, that's for sure.
Yeah. And honestly, again, looking back at that, you say we're talking one truck, a backup truck, and I working off a voice pager and a two-way radio with a phone patch because your father, I couldn't talk him into a cell phone. Anyway, but cell phones were like $2 a minute back then. Not even lying. He's like,
I provided you quarters, okay?
You did. A roller. It's not even a lie, folks. And but really, that was a lot to manage, that one truck. Some days it was like back to back to back, and and then you had insurance adjusters to deal with, and calling people back, all that stuff, and answering service, and all that stuff. So it really is a huge responsibility especially to where you are now. How would you say? Well, this is a dangerous question, maybe, but how would you say Collin's adjusting though?
Doing great, right? He's taking a piece at a time. He's managing things now that I would do. He takes care of a lot of the vehicles in the compound and dealing with that stuff. He's dealing with some customers here and there. There's so many roles. As you said, there's insurance adjusters and a lot of that stuff. He's sitting beside me when that's happening, right?
Yeah.
So he's learning each piece at a time, and that's what it's about. And I have no intent in running this thing into my late 60s or 70s or anything like that. But on the other hand, it's not something I could just say, here you go, Collin. Tammy and I can't just walk away from this today because, Tammy has a huge part of this. I have a huge part in it. Collin's taking a huge part in it now. He's stepping into those roles, and it's just not something I can say, here you are, walk away. It's a recipe for failure, and we don't want to see that. We want to see Collin succeed as we go.
You obviously have to there's obviously an emotional attachment here, so sometimes did you ever find it difficult, Gary, to separate the dad role and the boss role?
You know what? For him and I don't know. You'd have to ask him too. But for me, it was, we laid that out right from day one that we are father and son first, and the business is secondary. And we have a great relationship, and we love what we do, and we still vacation together. We travel together.
Yeah.
We we do things together, and as we do, as a family with our daughter as well. And so yeah, towing, as you know, is a lifestyle. It's not close the door at 5:00.
You don't?
Hey, no. It just keeps going. The phone doesn't stop. So you just incorporate that into your life, and the fact that the kids grow up with that and they understand it. And then, Collin willing to come into it, and Tammy putting up with me, and and obviously Kirsten, our daughter, it was a big thing for them as well, right? It affects their lives. It's
100%.
So yeah,
and those are conversations, and I'm sure, and it's nice that you bring up your daughter too, because she's got a lot of her own thing going on. With her own little business and school and everything else, right? So, but it does still affect her as well. I would imagine there was a lot of family conversations. Where there are a lot of sit down roundtable discussions on how we want this to look like, and everybody had their input on their feelings about the business and how it's running and how it works, all that stuff.
It was kind of more of a thing that you grew into it, right? Next stage happened, and it just the kids grew up with it. They were babies, like, right? Yeah. It was always there for them, right? It was right from, we had the business before they were born, so it was just, the phone was ringing, the pagers were going off, everything was happening right from day one with them. So I guess it's always been a part of their life.
Yeah.
So they that's where Collin said, "Hey, this is pretty cool," and Kirsten said, "I'm out of here. I want
to." Maybe she was the smart one.
She ran.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and shout out to your daughter as well and her company, Blue Coast Bundles. I know she's done a lot of effort into that and supporting local here in Sarnia, and giving back into the community as well. Which certainly, Collin, I would say you and your sister learned that from mom and dad.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. They've always been part of the community, and the community's been part of our business. So, you have to support each other, right?
Yeah, 100%. Well, speaking of support, I wanted to give it some time because, as Collin knows, I have trouble keeping up with these comments sometimes. So here we go. Well, actually, before we get started to the comments, folks, I've got a couple of shout outs I want to give. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Tammy, because I had to stop down at Preferred Towing, and I think I got one of the first ones of this new poster, right? I just happened to be there, got them all signed. It's lovely. It really is. But the reason I was down there, because our mutual friend, Bill Hughes, had, when we had Papa Bear on here a few months ago, and Bill was asking me if I had a signed poster by him, and I was like, no, how do I get one of those? So Bill actually went out of his way and got me one of these posters, got it signed, and I did reach out to Papa Bear and thanked him for that. So Bill, thank you if you're watching. I really appreciate you dropping that off at Preferred Towing. We weren't able to meet face-to-face just because of timing, but we'll try to make that work out again. And a belated birthday to Papa Bear as well. I think it was a couple of weeks ago he had a birthday, or very recently. So. And Bill's a huge fan of Preferred Towing, Heavy Rescue, but I think he's a pretty huge fan of Preferred Towing.
Absolutely, yeah. Bill's a great guy, great supporter of us and Ohana Landing, just terrific. And he's a tow truck operator. He did it as well out of London, and fantastic guy. So he knows the business, and we love him, and he calls me every once in a while. We have some great conversations, and there's nothing better than that.
I bet he's got some great stories.
Yes, he does.
And he doesn't mind sharing them. So if you're watching, thanks, man. Okay, let's get through some of these here. So Joseph Bailey says happy spring, and that's greetings from New York.
Hey,
Hey, Joe.
New York.
And Rachel's hello, Colin and David. Nice to see you again. These are comments that came up before we brought Gary on, so we're not leaving you out, Gary.
Hey, Rachel. Hi, Tracy.
Okay, this is a comment and a question. A friend, Tim Dyson. We all know Tim. Evening, gentlemen. Just wondering what the plan is for the old 1-ton. We've noticed it with no plates in the yard.
That one's up for sale as of right now. But yeah, we've got it sitting around the yard. If we ever need it, it's there. But yeah, it is up for sale. So
right. So Tim, if you're interested,
there you go.
And okay, somebody's definitely been paying attention. Speaking of birthdays, right? Happy belated birthday. I think I did wish you that day, but Colin, you just recently celebrated. What are you, 27 now?
I am 27, yeah. Thank you, Nyla.
Do you feel any different? Like, when we were young, it was like 27. Is that going to feel different, or 25, or you just, whatever?
No, it's just another year, right? And, I mean, with how physical our job is, every day is just as tough as the next. So,
right.
You always have those aches and pains, but no, I don't think they're that bad.
What are you talking about, aches and pains? You're 27. And you say it's just another year. Gary, when does that change? When it's not just another year?
When they turn 27 and you go,
oh. When they turn 20. Yeah, right.
They turn 27.
Right. I got you.
When did that happen?
Right. Tracy Laker, big fan as well.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
Hi, Tracy.
Danny Cacciamelio. Hello, Danny.
Hey, Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Where are we going here? Justin says, hello, Colin. Joseph, hi there, David and Colin. Getting cold here in Australia.
Sorry, that was me.
What the heck?
That's Herb. Herb's calling me.
You better take that.
No, I'll call him.
He might be watching.
Tell him to turn on the internet.
Don't put him on speakerphone. Dave's saying hello from Sudbury.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Nikki Contoy, I think.
Hey, Nikki.
Hello, Colin and Dave. And another happy belated birthday from Timothy.
Hey, Timothy.
Carl, of course, all the way from Oshawa, Ontario.
Hey, Carl.
There, it just did it. Just went.
You're gone. You lost your spot.
Totally did, right? I can't afford I haven't made the big bucks yet to, be like Heavy Rescue and afford the producer. Katie from London, Ontario.
Hey, Katie.
This is definitely Darlene before. Hi, David and Colin. And
hi, Darlene.
Fill in the blank. Okay, here's, I don't know who wants this one. I got a simple question. What's the difference between your old rotator and your new rotator? Maybe Gary wants to take that one.
Well, if you were paying attention, we're actually on our third rotator. So we had our black rotator was generation 1 of the 65-ton NRC. Then we purchased a generation 2 65-ton NRC rotator, and then the brand new one is a generation 3, the newest model. And each one has had improvements, obviously. There's obviously the new one is all computerized.
Right.
Amazing piece of equipment. You take the technology there from our first one. We have a weigh scale on it. We can see the boom angles on a screen.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. It tells us how much we're lifting, tells us how much we can lift. We can tell what our boom angles are at. Just tells us all the percentages, and it does a great job for us. Really neat feature on it is they've built it a little bit bigger in the rails where the rotator actually slides on. It's about double the size of the old 2 style rotators. So
okay.
A lot more rigid, so we can do a little bit more weight off the side. So it's a lot of fun to play that way with it. Yeah, it's a very strong machine. It was neat to stop from generation 1 to generation 2 to generation 3. Each one had more power.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Gary, being the old school guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I get technology, computers, all that stuff. I'm sure there's probably some things in there that you go, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. But you had to learn that pre-computer. And no, you know what I mean? Like, and there was like, you just kind of got to know what that thing could do. It's kind of like being the captain of the Enterprise, right? You know, you could push it a little further sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, do you prefer the old school, like just knowing from experience, or are you comfortable with the computers, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I like the new one. You just can't beat it. It's an amazing piece of equipment. I like the old ones, and you're right. You know, they had their feel, they had their noise and everything to them, but this does as well. But you know, it gives you that much more, and just tells you where you're at, and it's a pretty neat machine. I don't think Collin will, when Collin lets me use it, but I don't think
right.
No, he does a great job with it. He's got that thing mastered. And,
that's great. You got to upgrade the firmware on this thing once in a while, or
yeah, there's a port there they can plug in, and they can look at it from a distance. So it's amazing if it has a problem or whatever. So
right. Oh, that's important.
Yeah.
So there you go, Joseph. Let's see. Another happy birthday.
Thank you.
And let's see. Oh, I really need that producer. There we go. Hi from Brampton. Happy birthday.
Hi, Susan.
Stacy Marie. We're going to get lots of birthdays in here for sure.
Nice.
Hey, Stacy.
Rachel says happy birthday, but she wants to know, how did you celebrate it, or were you working?
I was actually off this birthday, which was kind of nice. It was a nice quiet day. I hung out at my parents' house at the end of the day and had some ordered in from one of the local restaurants. It was really nice just to kind of take a break for a little bit.
Yeah, you need those for sure.
Yep.
There's Hugh saying hello. Glad to see you doing
Hugh.
well. Jeff Randall out there.
Hey, Jeff.
And one of our regulars here, of course, as well. Jack Kane saying hello. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jack.
And Sean
Thank you,
from
Joseph.
Markham.
Hey, Sean. Thank you, Tracy.
Yes.
Lots of birthdays in here. Wow, boy. So it's the birthday show, folks.
Apparently.
And there's Port Dover.
Thank you, Linda.
And Blake here in Sarnia.
Thank you, Blake.
Okay, this is going to lead into something. They show all the reruns on the Weather Channel. Watch them all, even catching up to this past season. Do you guys? I mean, obviously, when Heavy Rescue is on in season, you sit down and watch them. I would think whenever you can. Maybe sometimes you get called out, but do you watch the reruns?
Yeah, every once in a while we watch them. I just, if I'm around when they're on, so they're around 7 p.m. here on the Discovery Channel every day, actually. So
yeah,
they run through the seasons pretty quickly. You can watch all 5 seasons now because they are rerunning season 5 now. But yeah, I catch them every once in a while and watch them, and it's always neat to kind of go back and look at some of the recoveries we've done. You've watched them once, you can watch them again, and kind of pick up little things each and every time, right?
Yeah, for sure. Are they Gary? Are they kind of like? Are they training videos somewhat?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's neat. It's neat to go back and watch them. I watch them all the time. If given the opportunity, if Tammy's home, she's like, you lived it. Don't watch it again. Watch it once.
That's just because she wants you to herself for a little while as well, right?
Yeah.
They are great to watch. Every time I watch, it's like you see something new that you didn't catch before.
Yeah. When you get a different perspective too, right? Because you're like you were like, obviously they can't show the whole scene of a wreck, so they, they're going to pick some parts out and piece it together to give the feel of what you go through. But I would think that would be one of the toughest parts for the editing crew to go through and go, what do we leave out? Right.
I don't know how they do it. It's amazing what they do for us anyway, from our angle of it. We do this entire wreck, whether it's 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, 16 hours.
Yeah.
And you watch it on TV and it's whether it's a 10-minute segment or
right.
a 15, 20-minute 2-episode segment, whatever it happens to be, you look at that and you go, they caught it all. I mean, they really catch the essence of what we did on that entire wreck. It's like, wow. It's
a really real talent of their own just to be out there capturing it, for one thing. I'm really surprised. I've talked to some of the crew, or I've asked some of the crew on Twitter, like, how many GoPros do you go through in a year? Right. Because that chain or something ran it over or whatever. But they said they really don't lose that many.
No.
They're pretty good at it, actually. They make sure that these things stay alive. I'm pretty impressed, actually. I have one of the ones that did get smashed. I did actually get that as a token from.
Oh, okay. You got a keepsake.
Yep.
I would imagine, and I know we've talked about this before, but the relationship between you folks and the crew, you've gotten to know each other over the years. Are they the same crew, or some are the same, some have changed? What's that like?
Yeah, so we have the same crew pretty well every year, and they're a great bunch of guys. They work really well, and the best part is, like, they know how we work now, so they don't get in our way, we don't get in their way. If they want us to answer a question, they know when to ask us, when we're not really focused or anything like that. So they're never really in our way. Most of the time we don't even notice that they're there anymore.
Yeah. Gary, a little bit of fun with the crew sometimes?
We have a ball. We have a good time with them. We've had a lot of fun over the years with them. Once in a while, like it's a 3-man crew usually, and I think our first year we the 2 guys called us and said, you got to call in a wreck right now. So, wreck, and they had them out in the truck and halfway down the highway or whatever before they told them. And just
right.
we have a good time doing with all the guys. But yeah, you get to know them all. You get to know, we've got our producer, the crew out in BC as well. And
right.
You get to know those guys as well, and gals down there. And there's so many people in the production of this. It's absolutely amazing. So
and I hear the crew for these parts shout out to Blackwater Coffee. Apparently they seem to really like Blackwater Coffee. Is that right?
Yes, they absolutely do. In fact, the crew truck, I noticed last time it was here, actually has a sticker of Blackwater Coffee in the back corner. So
that would be Dave. I was talking to Dave a few weeks ago. He's like, oh yeah, like totally. They're like, they're here. They're getting their coffee at Blackwater. Well, that's good. Well, I would think it's important to have that relationship anyway when you're on a job. I mean, especially if you're the lead, you've got that responsibility, and you've got to be looking out for the crew as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. They become part of our family. Just, our operators, for Collin, Tammy, and myself, all our guys are part of our tow family, and these guys as well have become a part of our family, our crew here. So we make sure we take care of them, and you're concerned about them. We talk to them year round. Like they're gone. They've been gone for months, and we usually talk once or twice a week with each one of the guys. So you'd think they'd be sick of us, but apparently not.
No, nobody can get sick of you. All right, a few more comments here. We don't want to leave Gary out. There's lots of people saying, hi, Gary. This is about when we and we will get caught up here. Here's a good one. I love Heavy Rescue, and I really love all the community work your family does. I don't think there's anybody here, at least in Sarnia Lambton, that couldn't recognize that. Can we get a little bit of an update on Ohana Landing and the Youth Transitional Housing Facility? That's Is that full right now, or what's happening with that?
Yeah, it is full. I know that there's some transition happening right now. There's some kids that are moving on that have transitioned out, which is what we're looking for, right? We're looking for them to become productive members of society and to be able to make it out on their own. So some are starting to transition out now. We're in our second year already of it. Hard to believe,
right?
And so yeah, and unfortunately, but I guess good. There's always, there's a list behind ready to move in. So so we're in that transition right now. I think there's 2 or 3 that are swinging around right now, and that's super. So it's just giving opportunities for some other kids, which is what we're looking to do.
And to see that come to life, I know that's very near and dear to Tammy. For personal reasons and beyond. But to see that all come to life, like I even remember sitting at a city council meeting one time, you guys were there trying to get some things done. And then when there was kind of an approval, I remember kind of looking over and seeing that big, proud happiness and actually tears of joy, that we're that one step closer. And then finally, the cutting of the ribbon, you can see, Tammy's excitement, and there you're just looking on going, I'm so happy for my wife, right?
Absolutely. Just couldn't be prouder of her. It's a great thing.
And now to keep it going, folks, if you don't know, Ohana Landing, the youth transitional housing facility here that we're talking about in Sarnia, if you want to support that, because there are ongoing costs for it, when you purchase merchandise from Preferred Towing, which has the Heavy Rescue logo and Preferred Towing logo on it, they got hoodies and hats and mugs and all kinds of things. When you make that purchase by going to preferredtowing.com, proceeds from those all going to Ohana Landing. So it's really a win-win for everybody.
For sure.
Right on. Let's go back to some comments. I know I'm falling behind here. We got, there's a regular fan. And
hey, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
And Matt saying hello.
Hey, Matt.
Matt.
Tammy, love you guys. This is, and I've never made it down to one of these because I'm always busy on Fridays too. Tammy said I'm allowed to come sometime, but must be hard to step away from those Friday lunches when duty calls.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty good.
Right on. I know, you've got a great staff at Preferred Towing, and it's another part of the family down there too. And I noticed that, like, you really reward the staff there when they get a compliment from a customer or something like that. Like there's a Timmy's card or something. That seems to really be a big part of, I guess, the philosophies of Preferred Towing.
Yeah, well, happy employees, they keep up the good work, and they really portray that onto the customers, and happy customers portray that onto potential customers. So it really is kind of nice. It spreads around.
Yeah, it's a great example. And I'm going to guess, if I had to, just because I know your dad, probably the cleanest trucks in the industry. Would you say that, Gary?
We try, for sure.
Right?
We try. You know me. I had to get over it.
Right. I do remember. Yeah, right. And okay, I want to go to something here that I was looking at online, and I really got a chuckle out of it. Collin knows what I'm going to do here. So Gary, yes, I'm popping this on you here.
All right, fire away.
So you were recently on the Weather Channel, or recently, I guess this is from last year.
Yeah.
February 2020.
Yes.
And you're on the U.S. Weather Channel. And are you still getting used to the camera, or are you okay with it now, Gary?
I'm okay with it. There's days and moments, but
right.
Yeah.
Do you ever like get that thing out of my face, or do you just kind of?
Oh, no, you just roll it.
Oh no! So I watched this interview, and there's a piece right here the gentleman asked you a question, and I just started really laughing hard at this. And I think you'll probably get why I'm laughing at this. I'm not sure that everybody else will, but we'll fill them in. So I want to make sure. Oh, do I have the sound on? Hang on a sec. I better make sure I got the sound ready for this. I'm a one-man show, folks. Okay, try this again. I got to have the audio for this. I'm not sure if you have any idea where I'm going with this, but okay, here we go. Turn up the speakers really loud. Take a listen to this. This is Gary on the Weather Channel. Here's the question.
Gary, when you watch the show, it seems like it's always a semi-truck that's running into town. And you've got some specialized equipment here. Are your vehicles four-wheel drive, or how do you?
Did you catch that, Gary?
He asked me if it was a four-wheel drive. Is that?
Are your vehicles four-wheel drive? And all I can remember is way back in the day, you saying, "Oh yeah, just wait, one of your first tows, and that 4x4 will come up and try to tow that guy out of there, and then we'll have two tows."
Yep.
Yeah. No,
these are not 4x4s.
These are not 4x4s, but they do have lots of tires and a couple axles on the bigger ones that push at the rear, but front wheels are just along for the ride. So remember now the question that's coming. These guys are from the Weather Network, and I think they're from Georgia. So,
yeah. No, I'm not making fun of him by any means.
No.
It just stuck. I was like, wow. You get that little 4x4? No, not really.
Yeah, I gotta tell you a backstory to this.
Yeah,
they were doing right there. So that was live when that happened. I mean, that was one of the very only live events that we have ever done, like live. And they had made arrangements for me to be there at a certain time and at a certain location. It was out at the 402 at the weigh scales.
Right.
And the crew, we all thought we had time. I'm telling you, we pulled in literally seconds before we're going on air there. Like, where is he? And they're calling me, "Are you almost here? Are you almost here?" I'm like, I'm there. Don't worry. We're making this. And then you just jog up and, hey,
been here for hours waiting for you. What's going on, right? Well, that's the wonder of television as well. But I know you guys get asked a lot, from being on Heavy Rescue 401 and the popularity of that show, and prefer to you get asked to do these interviews from all over, and you got people reaching out to you, wanting birthday shout outs, etc., all that stuff. How do you find the time to do it all outside of, you still got to run a towing business?
It's an ongoing thing, and we take time. It's only a couple minutes, so it's easy enough for us to do. But yeah, it's crazy how many people really do enjoy watching the show and want to hear from us. It's something we never expected in a million years, and it's like just the response that people get out of this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We do our best to respond to absolutely everybody that calls and shows up, and we have that total respect that these people have taken the time out of their day to come and see us, and we love it. We respect that they watch the show and like what we do. So we have absolutely no issue saying hi and meeting people, and the excitement of the fans that meet us, and that's a lot of fun. We get a lot of joy out of that.
Yeah, you can tell, just right now, there's sincerity and gratefulness in your voices and in your grins too. Right? You just know, right? I hope you know and understand the impact that you and Preferred Towing and your family are having on not just our local community, but like communities all over. Like, do you really understand the scale that you're having that impact of?
I'm not sure you can really understand the scale that you do it to, but
yeah,
we are very humbled by it. Let me tell you, and we try and do our very best to make the public proud, I guess.
Yeah. One of the pieces in this interview, the gentleman asked you, do you ever take a vacation? And Rachel's out here as well, and she says, Gary, do you ever take a week's vacation with the family? And if you do, where's your favorite place to go? Well, maybe not right now. But what about it?
Yeah, we every year we have a place up north that we go, Point of Barrel. We've gone to a place that we rent a cottage up there every year, and Bruce up there has a cabin for us every year, and we have a lot of fun there. There's some lakes, and we go out boating, and Collin, Kirsten, and myself are wakeboarders, so we
okay,
wakeboarding, and so that's our summer vacation. And then if we have the opportunity, usually maybe November or April, we might peek out somewhere warm. If it's Florida, or if it's
there's Herb again.
No, this is
is that Tammy telling you what to say?
No, this is our friend Jared.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I'm sure there's a comment there for me.
Right. Okay. Well, you read it first, and if it's appropriate, we'll share it.
Yes. So our friend from he's in Arizona now, so he's our friend from South Dakota, and he's
nice.
in Arizona now. So he's looking vacation spots for me. I'm sure that's what
probably near him.
Yeah, he's finding me a house. I know that's what he's doing.
Okay, there you go. So here's a question as well. When you all go away together, so the big boss is gone, and Gary's gone too, and Collin's gone. Who gets left in charge when you're away? How does that work?
Well, we've got don't forget we got Kyle there.
Yeah.
Kyle can handle. He's been with us for years and years, so he knows the routine, and nobody messes with Kyle.
Nope.
When he's in charge. So there's always somebody there. Our team has been for years and years, and we've got our office staff in there, and the girls know what to do in there, and everybody's got a role, and they step up when they need to. So.
Right. Collin, coming back to you now, and we've got some more questions in here we'll go through in a second, folks. Keep them coming. We got, we could go for a couple hours. I don't think these guys have anything else to do. Collin, you hear your dad talking a lot about how things run, and obviously mom and dad are proud of you, but taking the time to do those transition, all those roles. Was it tougher than you thought it would be?
Well, it's a huge business when you really look into it, because, as my dad said, we started off with one truck, mm-hmm. and here I am jumping into it. When I started 8 years ago, we had, I think, 13 or 14 units in our fleet, and trying to just jump head first into that, it's overwhelming. And now we're up to 18 units, and it's like there's no way you can just jump right into that. So it's definitely a lot more involving than what I had thought at first, but I knew there was going to be a lot to it when I was getting into this. There's no doubt in my mind that this wasn't going to be a big task and chore. So, but no, I'm enjoying it so far. Every day is something new. There's always a new learning experience for sure.
You're 27 years old, and I don't take away from your age by saying what I'm going to here, but that is a responsibility that I would think is way more than most 27-year-olds take on. Like, that's really and when we talk about the responsibility, never mind just the responsibility of running a business, but caring for the employees and looking out for the employees, and when you're the lead guy on the job, like, other people's lives, really. That's how do you do it? Like, that's a lot, man.
It is. It's a lot to take in, and realistically, it's just day by day. And I've never been thrown into it, head first. As I said, it's been a slow, kind of gradual one more piece at a time sort of deal. So, you know, it still is overwhelming. Some days you're sitting back and you're like, holy crap, there's a lot going on, a lot trying to figure everything out. You know, when you're running around doing these recs, it's a big task, and trying to keep track of everyone and keep track of what you're doing on top of that, it's just crazy. But no, it's one day at a time.
Right. How many times in a week would you say that you are like doing a job, or maybe you're making a decision about the business or something, and you're like, I'm not calling Dad and asking him. I'm not calling Dad and asking him. How many does that happen a lot? You just want to like,
I think it happens a couple times a week, but no,
right? It's more than a couple. Come on.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to be able to bounce the ideas off my dad, because you know, he's seen a lot of this stuff, and you know, it's handy to have that. You know, I came across, actually, I had a garbage truck a few weeks ago that was a really different job. The rear axle had snapped out of the thing, and you know, I was trying to pick it up the conventional way that I had done, but because it had walking suspension underneath of it. So essentially, with walking suspension, you've got two beams on one on either side, and they attach to both axles. So you pick up on the rear end of that beam, it puts all of the pressure to the front of that beam. It acts as a lever. And I was trying to chain up the front end. Well, it wasn't wanting to stay chained up. It was actually putting too much force on the chains. So I ended up having to pick it up a different way. And my dad came out and took a look at it. And, you know, he had the idea right there. So it was a different job. And, you know, it's nice to have him available to do stuff like that, because, yeah, there's still so much yet in this business to learn.
I would think it'd be like, if you have to think about it too long and you're unsure, make the call.
Yeah, for sure.
Seriously, like, don't let your ego get in the way, right?
Yep.
Because that could be dangerous.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's absolutely it, because at the end of the day, you know, it's more than just you out on the roads. You make the wrong call, and you know, something goes seriously wrong. It's not just you that you're affecting. Yeah,
Gary, what were you going to say there, bud?
No, just even to Collin's credit, right? We were doing a big recovery that may or may not be on the show a couple weeks back, and anyway, you know, he's also got that ability where I'm focusing and looking at things, and he's over my shoulder, and he says, "Hey, Dad, what about this?
Right,
this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's been there all that time." And he
right in front of me. I've had those glasses on my head the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. And he gets it. And so that's really neat for me, right? Those are those pieces that I know that, you know, he's becoming a very skilled operator at what he does. And, you know, so it's not just me giving the answers. Sometimes it's the other way around. And
when does a student become the teacher, right?
Exactly. No, and it's fun. It's real neat.
You just go, wow, and then you stand a little taller too, and you go, oh yeah, I'm so proud. Yeah, well, that's cool. I get that, right? Collin, I'll give you some advice, if I may. Not that I'm in the towing business anymore, but there's an old saying. It says, "Give me a fulcrum on which to rest, and I will move the earth." Right. So and that kind of comes down to like, work with what you got, right?
Yep. No, that is one of my favorite sayings, and I've adapted it a little bit. Give me enough snatch blocks, and I will move the world.
Right. And that actually, speaking of that, let's go back to some comments here. Do you still have? Is it chalk blocks on the 1-tons? What are chalk blocks?
That was an old school technique. They were gone before my time, but the old 1-tons, they had the little slots in the back of the trucks, and you put the chain right to the back of the truck and put the chalk block underneath of it. And you could, with the old homes, you could pull and pull and pull. I've seen some old pictures of my dad's trucks working pretty hard, and some other companies around doing the same thing. But nowadays those have gone away, but no, we can still sit the trucks. We've got spikes now for sitting the trucks down, and
right.
That is one of my favorite things, is to make my 1-ton work and pull out some big, heavy, mean equipment, because a lot of people don't think that truck will do it, and I'll show up and I'll out tow a lot of things with that little 1-ton.
You definitely are your father's son. I'll tell you there. And Jack wants to ask a question, Gary. I know you've been asked 100 times, but how is your hand doing?
It's doing good. You know what? I've got a lot of mobility back out of it. And I'm happy for that. It could have been a lot worse. So worked extremely hard at getting back to where we are with it today. It's a year and a half now, believe it or not. But it's come along very nice. Thanks.
Right on. I don't know what this means. So, hey, Gary. Okay. Does that mean anything? I don't even know how to say that. Goverdome?
I'm assuming it's a Dutch saying.
You're assuming what?
It's a Dutch saying, maybe.
Okay. All right. I don't know any Dutch here.
Somebody's gonna have to Google it because.
All right. It's probably translation, meaning if you're not Dutch, you're not Dutch.
All right. Well, I'll call my mom. I'll ask her.
All right. There you go. Karen from Sterling, Virginia. Love the show. When does the new season start? Oh, really? That question? Any idea?
Down there, I don't know, because the Weather Channel actually had stuff. Like, they had season 5 almost 2-3 weeks after we started season 5 here. So
yeah,
we don't have a date for season 6 here in Canada yet. So when we do know that, we will be posting that for sure. But
I'm thinking we'll probably have a show that week.
I am hoping.
I think what's probably fair to say, without an exact date, that it's been typically over here starts sometime in January.
Yeah.
Is that fair? So we can give you that much right now. And hopefully at some point we can get back to having the Heavy Rescue 401 fundraiser that supports Ohana Landing as well. And I will just say, without getting into it, I know that didn't happen, but there was still some great support that came from that, which was super fantastic to still see so many people that come along and support Ohana Landing, including like Heavy Rescue 401 and the company that puts it on, right?
Yeah, Great Pacific. Yeah, everybody is just fantastic, right? From the players like that to just people in the community, give what they can, and it's humbling. It's amazing. So it's so much makes everybody part of that community, right? And a part of what we do, and so it's nice.
Yeah. Michael Horan. Do we know Mike?
Yep.
Baltimore Tow Show, November. Just saying. Right?
We're hoping that we can cross the border too. So
yeah. That's a really big one I've heard you guys talk about before. And is that or I'm getting confused about something else or no, I was talking about a car show too. I think Gary, maybe you were telling me about some big car show that you and Collin went to, and there was like a big auction or something like that. Was that?
Bear Jackson.
Okay, but that's nothing to do with the tow show.
No.
That was just a whole different. Okay, I was confused that day though. I think you offered to take me one to that though, Gary.
You can come next time. You'd have a lot of fun with us.
Yeah. I would imagine the tow shows is more than. I mean, of course, you want to go see the latest and greatest cool toys. And the latest and greatest technology and who has the biggest truck, okay, fine. And all of that. But what about the social side to all of that? You get, getting back to seeing everybody that you've probably made so many relationships, especially you, Gary, over 30 years.
Yeah, no, I do look forward to that. I know a lot of the guys in the tow industry, one of my friends, Jeff Russell from Coffs Towing in Florida, every time I see him anywhere, he always, this is a guy that runs one of the biggest towing outfits in the U.S. And him and I have a history. He did Molson Indy with me in Toronto, now when we would do the racetrack there when we were the tow truck operators there. He was my
cool.
Yeah, he was the shift leader, and I was on that. And so yeah, it's really neat. You have these relationships from all over North America from all these guys, and now the show. We've gotten to know a lot more people, and so yeah, it's great to get back out and see everybody and say hi, and then obviously now with the show, a lot of people come up, and it's fun.
Yeah. The towing industry, at least we'll speak to North America. I guess it's certainly different in the UK and even Australia, etc. But there's a lot of things happening in the towing industry that are maybe having a negative impact. We won't get into those details. I think everybody can come to their own conclusions there. But what I want to get to with Heavy Rescue 401, is it fair to say that show has had a really strong impact positively on the towing industry?
Yeah, I would say for sure. We do get a lot of people coming up and talking to us and saying, I had no idea what you guys did out there, and I didn't realize how much work actually went into doing a lot of these recoveries, and how unsafe the job is, standing on the side of the road sometimes. So for us, that's been a huge thing. People actually realizing we're out there working, and all it takes is one person not paying attention to make it a really bad day. So I think a lot of people have started to take that into heart and really think about what they do on the roads.
Yeah. Gary, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading an article in one of the tow magazines the other day, and that was the exact comment that these people were from, I believe, Saskatchewan, and they were talking about the shows and saying how now the public has a different perception of us, and really, when we started this, Collin and I and Tammy, and we all sat down as a family, and that was part of our goal, to change the view of people of what the tow industry is and who we are and what we do out there. So that has been absolutely fantastic. We show people what we do and how hard it is what we do, and the equipment and all kinds of neat things that we do out there, and the true profession of what we do, and the skill set that's needed to do this, and that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah, it's not just crazy old cooter there from the local garage, and like really like that. And we could almost blame television for some of that image way back in the day to now reality shows like this, and I mean the local impact too. I mean, you get involved in local towing regulations, and then beyond, like, I mean, I know you and Tammy prefer towing. Had conversations with Caroline Mulrooney, right, our Minister of Transportation, to being a part of the Provincial Towing Association, and all these acronyms that that you're involved with. It really shows your I guess your sincerity in the industry as well, and that's important to be involved in this, right?
Yeah, it's important to all of us. I know bringing up the new generation of guys like Collin and guys you've had on the show like Andrew and some of these young guys like Andrew from Herbs and a lot of these guys, Bryce, Weaver, and all these guys are coming up, the next generation, and these young guys are skilled young guys. They're professionals. They're they're right up there.
Yeah.
And it's neat. It's neat.
The next generation, right? Really,
the next generation, and it's neat to be able to show these guys coming up in their skill sets and what they're doing. So yeah.
Well, I think the advocacy that you're involved with is really important, not just to the industry, but like you said, to the people that are. I think when people drive down there, I mean, I do, just because I know you guys really well and stuff, but I think a lot of people are driving down the road and they're starting to slow down and move over a little more, and so it's good that it's having that impact. I want to and then where did it go? I was right there. Oh, here we go.
You know why this is happening, Dave?
Because you're here.
Exactly. Because when I'm not on the show, you nail me every time on my technical ability.
Right? That's true, right?
And look,
I'm always waiting for the nasty text after the show or during. It's happened a couple of times. I just ignore it. Because the thing is, Gary, like when I don't text you anymore. I text Collin or I text your wife.
I know.
Before I text you. You know why? Because you take a week to respond.
All right. I'll respond right away next time that you send it to me. All right.
All right. I'll be up at 2 a.m.
Don't go away.
Here's a good one. Hugh Beatty says, "What's your favorite spot for food after a big wreck?"
They do that.
That is a good one. Yeah, depends on the time, depends on the day. We like our local restaurants. I've gone to Twisted Arm a couple times after.
Oh, yeah.
It's always nice to kind of have a burger after a big wreck.
Right. What about, I heard you like chicken, Collin. Mary Brown's chicken, maybe?
Mary Brown's chicken is also pretty good. I usually have that. That's a lunch thing, though. I can't do that for supper. But, yeah, Mary Brown's chicken, I've had that a couple times.
All
That's
right.
pretty good.
What about you, Gary?
Yeah, no, all the local spots, as Collin said, it's kind of become a bit of a tradition after we work our butts off out there. And you're the end of a long, long day. If we've got the opportunity and there's no time, we go grab something to eat after it's done. Or if it's an early morning wreck and we get done about 8, 9 o'clock, sometimes we run out for breakfast. We've done that out in Strathroy or locally here. We're close out there. So yeah, it's part of our tradition after a wreck now.
Yeah. Are you missing the parades? Because that's kind of always been a big interactive thing for preferred towing, right? Labor Day parade to Canada Day, Christmas, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. You don't realize it's gone until you're not doing it, right? And
yeah.
This year has definitely been one of those years where it kind of sucks. They're not doing them. We can't go out. We always enjoyed doing that. It was always fun getting all the equipment cleaned up and driving through town with everything and all the flashing lights going, the big horns going, and it's always fun to see the kids' reactions when the big equipment comes around the corner. Because I remember being that kid when I was younger, and we're hoping soon enough we'll be able to do that all again.
Yeah. Well, we're overtime. Well, I don't know if it's overtime. I think we can stay longer if you want, but we've hit just over an hour here, and it's just become so popular. I'll never be able to keep up with the comments. I'm not going to give Gary.
Keep going. We're good. I'm good.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I think my wife's probably already sleeping. So, Scott Elder also says, "Hope you had a great birthday, Collin. Ice cream cake or?"
Actually, I did blizzards this time. It was a toss-up between ice cream cake and a blizzard. I chose a blizzard because usually I don't finish an ice cream cake. It sits around in the freezer for months and months and months, so I figured a blizzard's a little bit more economical.
There you go. Gary, when's your birthday?
It's coming up.
Coming up
In June.
That's when I'll text you.
All right. You can text me.
Or maybe I'll just text Tammy and say, "Hey, can you wish Gary a happy birthday for me?" Because I can get a quicker.
It'll probably get to me quicker.
It probably.
Yeah.
Since I got the Heavy Rescue 401 hoodie, people ask, how much do I charge for towing? What's a good range to start with? They really think it's my company. Okay, Jack. I don't know. Get what you can out of it, Jack.
Don't undersell yourself. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, you know what, Gary? The fact that you say that's actually a good point to make, right? I mean, sometimes you pull up to a job, especially if it's like a car job, maybe not the heavy rescue. You get people like trying to negotiate right on the spot.
Yeah, you do sometimes, but for the most part, everybody's pretty good.
Yeah.
For us, I guess there's that old saying, you can have one of three things. You can have good, fast, or what was the other one? Cheap. You can have two of the three.
Right. Good. There you go. Right on.
It's with towing, right? You've got that is a real comment. Don't undersell yourself. It's a profession, and the guys deserve to make, an honest living. Everybody deserves, and I get that it's not cheap, but what is anymore, right?
Right.
big investment. The guys have a big investment in what they do. It's a dangerous job, and I truly believe that, as a company, obviously we've got to make a good living, but our people also have to make a fair living wage. And
my dad always said, like, especially if they're your friends, they should be willing to pay double. See, I'm already giving you a great deal because we're that good. There it is. Catherine says, my day is always better when I see a preferred towing truck go by. If Gary driving, he honks at me.
Yes, I do, Catherine. I do. I always love her big smile when she's usually standing at the bus stop or somewhere around. So it's always she always puts a smile on my face. That's for sure.
You drive around the city and probably certain roads on a regular basis for maybe some of the regular jobs. You really do like keep an eye out for, I know that person's going to be over there typically, right?
Yeah, the last few years we've been getting a lot more waves than we used to.
Yeah.
And we were actually making comment about that today, actually.
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. Rachel also says, since watching your program and seeing how truck drivers helping people gives me a great respect for all of them. Great job to all. Well, there's the impact we were talking about, right?
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
And that's something that really is what we wanted to be out of this show, and to hear it from people who watch the show, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Okay, this one is an equipment question. Is NRC your choice of equipment for a heavy duty? I'm guessing that's a company.
Yeah, so that's what our rotator is. We kind of have a mix for all of our heavy equipment. We've got Millers, we've got NRC, we've got Jordan. But for the rotators, the NRC is definitely what we like because it's got the slide feature to it. It just makes those tight jobs that much better to have that feature. But going forward, I think that the NRC is what we're looking at. I think my dad can kind of attest to that. We've really seen how those pieces of equipment work, and we're very impressed.
All right. Here's one. I don't think this is offside, but hey, Gary and Collin, what do you think of the A&E show, Hustle and Tow? That's first I've heard of it.
I honestly haven't watched any of the episodes yet. I've seen previews for it, so I can't really speak to it because I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Gary?
I haven't seen it either. I've heard a couple comments on it. I do want to see it. I like all the tow shows, so
yeah.
I want to see it. I haven't got to it yet, so I'm going to put that on my list.
That's because you have to wait till you're retired. You're too busy doing other stuff, right? You don't have time to watch that. Wow, this just keeps. I'll go back to the bottom here. And enjoy the show, guys. Stay safe. Former driver from Bailey's Wrecker Service in Nashville, Tennessee. But he needs one of them hoodies. So you can order the hoodies and the merchandise of Preferred Towing and Heavy Rescue 401 at the Preferred Towing website there. And there's some, I should have had it up here, bad producing, but I know recently, or I guess a few months ago, like a lot of the merchandise was updated. Is that right, Collin?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got new sweaters. I got my sweater on today.
Oh, Colin's going to walk the runway for us.
Sure, I can't really turn around and get my headphones on.
Oh, that's
I don't want to pull those out my ear.
It turned out really, really well, right?
Yeah, for sure. It with the new graphics of the rotator on the back, it really draws the attention on that for sure.
I think I can. We'll keep going here, but I'm gonna pull it up. I type away furiously. Well, actually, I will come back to that in a second. I've got another clip up here that I'd like to play. There it is. Barb Potter. Oh, sorry, Gary. Don't mean to cover you up. Wow. I'll read this one. Thanks to Preferred Towing, not only once but twice with towing my car after the motor blew in Port Huron years ago, after delivering 24 cats to get fixed in Warren, Michigan, as well as recently when someone ran the stop sign at Kamlaki and hit my ex's truck. I had borrowed and totaled his truck. Wow. I was transporting a rescue cat to a retired OPP in Sarnia. Thanks to great service from this towing company, Barb, for the love of Luna Cat Rescue, Thedford. Do you recall that?
The truck in the accident does ring a bell. I do remember that. I don't remember exactly.
I would just think 24 cats would have stuck out in my mind.
It was not me who did that one. I know that. Or my dad, because he's allergic too, so that wouldn't have turned out.
Oh, there you go. Jennifer keeps asking me for a cat, and they post stuff on Facebook, and I just respond with fake news. I'm not good. It's not happening. Speaking of which, Gary, I'm really surprised we haven't been more interrupted here because Gizmo's running around somewhere.
Yeah, Gizmo isn't. I don't know. I can call him in. Giz, come on, bud. I don't know. He might show up. Might be with Tammy. He might be ignoring me. He's upset that I'm not in the other room with him.
Okay. All right. Maybe Tammy's babysit. There's a guy out here. This is actually. I gotta wait for him to come back to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see it in there yet, but we're still live. I better behave. There's Gizmo.
I brought Gizmo.
Hi, Gizmo. Another member of the family, right?
Yeah.
Gizmo's yawning. Are we boring you, Gizmo?
Boring. Yeah. He's had a long day.
Not something to play with. Not something to chase.
Who's the strange man on the screen? Hi, Gizmo. Bye, Gizmo. There's somebody out here, I kind of recognize the name, but I'm not sure. He's kind of being a little demanding out here. Mark Colburn. I had a lady reach out to me from Saskatchewan about getting some show swag for her son that loves the show. Can you hook a guy up? Yeah, you can get hooked up. Simply go to preferredtowing.com. Of course, Mark used to work for you there, right? You've known him a long time too, Gary.
Yes. Mark and I have a long history. Mark and I played hockey and baseball together. Yeah, we go way back, so it's neat.
Yeah, right on. Hello, Gizmo. Gizmo's getting the hellos now. Hi, Gizmo.
Yeah.
And James was asking, that's the new rotator right on the back. I'm assuming he means on the back of your shirt.
Yes. Yeah, that's the new rotator. We printed that out just shortly after we got it as kind of a surprise.
Yeah, cool. James also wants to know, do you know a lot of the towing companies in the USA?
We do actually have a lot of contacts over there. There's so many towing companies all over, but no, we do have a lot of friends over in the US, and we do know a lot of them and talk to a lot of them on a regular basis, and it's kind of neat that way. The industry is connected in so many ways, and you can kind of bounce ideas off each other and really stay in contact with a lot of the other people in the industry. It's cool that way.
Yeah, funny story. We got to tell a funny story. We were on our way to pick up. We go to South Dakota to pick up trailers, and we went to South Dakota. We're coming back, and our truck had some truck problems, so we ended up getting off the road, and then we broke down, and then we got it started again, and we limped it off the road, and there happened to be a towing company up the road, so we had called them for a tow, but we got the truck restarted, and he said, just get it to my yard. So we got it to his yard, we parked in the yard, and we were sitting there in the yard, and Collin and I, we were 10 hours from home, so we were waiting for another truck to tow us.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, one of the young gentlemen came in into the yard. He had a young daughter with him, training her how to drive, and he kind of drove by, saw the name on the truck, and kind of looked and stopped.
Oh yeah.
And came back, and then went back, and we got out, and he's like, "No way!" So he obviously in the towing industry knew who we were, so
Right.
watched the show, fan of the show, and he was Des Moines, Iowa, is where we stopped that day.
All right.
He was terrific. He gave us a ride in his car to a local area where we could have some food and sit and watch a movie and wait our 10-12 hours for our other truck to come up. So
Right.
before we were rescued. So real nice young guy there with his son, and a few of the operators showed up, and they were terrific. So
and you really do get recognized like all over the world. Like heavy rescue just itself is shown all over the world, and like from the UK, even fans in Australia that reach out. And when you get those letters in the mail or emails or whatever way it comes to you, do you ever look and go, wow, never heard of that place, but that's so far, like, how cool is that, right?
Really, really cool. Yeah. Dubai. We had Dubai a couple months back ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And all over the world, South Africa, you name it, Colin. We get those emails. We answer every one of them. We read every one of them ourselves. And
yeah. I think that's the neat part too. Collin and I talked about that. I don't know if it was last month or the month before, but Collin, you get a lot of messages on your Collin V Heavy Rescue page and on the preferred towing page. Believe me, I get the notifications. And it's like, wow, today's a really busy day. But you did make a point of saying that, Collin, that even if you don't get back to them right away, you do eventually take the time to go through that. That's really important to you, right?
Yeah, I have a long list of messages I got to get back to, and I keep, like, every week I want to get to it. I'm like, I got to get to it, and then I forget about it. And I'm sorry for everyone who's messaged me and they're waiting for responses. I will be getting back to those. I'm hoping this weekend. I do have a job. I am off this weekend, but I do have a job planned, and I'll have some pictures up tomorrow of that job. But
nice.
I will be trying to get back to everyone to either tomorrow or Sunday. So
yeah, I know it's important to you. Like, and I understand it for Gary and Tammy too. Like, I know it's important that you respond to those personally. There's not a production crew, giving, standard responses. It's actually you guys. And when those notifications pop up, and then maybe you're on your way to a job, and then life gets busy, it's easy to get distracted. But it must make you feel good though, Collin, when people are reaching out to you and saying, thanks for tooting the horn. Something as simple as that, right?
Yeah, you know what? It's amazing to see the response from the local community and community all over the world that watches the show. It's something that sometimes is just crazy and overwhelming, because it's like, wow, we're ordinary people doing our job, and it's fascinating to people. And to me, that's still, like, it's mind-boggling, and it's a crazy feeling. But I really do love the fact that people enjoy the show. And again, I'm not a celebrity. We're not celebrities. We're people doing our jobs and
doing what you love. Like,
yeah. And that's exactly it. And, it's, I always get that message. People are like, oh, you're a celebrity. It's like, no, I'm a guy doing my job. I enjoy doing my job. And I'm glad people enjoy watching it. It's something I would never have expected, that so many people would enjoy watching what we do. But it's cool.
We've got some more comments here we'll get to. Rose says, hello from Brampton, Ontario.
Hi, Rose.
Okay, this is makeup time. No, not to make you feel bad, but this is how busy the messages come through. But Christine says, hey, Collin, you forgot my birthday, which was last month. So give her the birthday shout out now, and it'll be okay.
Happy birthday, Christine. I'm sorry I missed it.
You can't remember everybody's birthday. You just need a separate calendar on your mobile phone for birthday. There you go. I know that's something that's really popular, right? People want drive-bys and shout outs and stuff, but we need people to understand that you're happy to do that, but there's still a business to be run too, right? So it doesn't always work out.
It's crazy because last year when we started this doing these live chats, this was my happy 2,500 thank you for following me thing. I'm now at almost 6,000 followers on my page, and it's just like, holy crap. I started this kind of as a I don't think people are going to follow me, but let's give this a shot. And here we are with almost 6,000 people watching.
Yeah, we've had lots of people watch and even concurrently live, and I get messages like I do. They're like, "Hey, when's the next Collin thing?" Right? I'm like, oh. Anyway, I really enjoy doing it too because it's nice to be able to connect with everybody too, as I know you guys like to be able to do that. So this is a good time for that. William Porter says hello from across the pond in Lapeer, Michigan.
Hi, William.
There you go. Not far.
Nope.
Have you? Stop moving around. It's totally Gary's fault. Tyler says, have you watched Jamie Davis's shows and have you seen any wrecks he's done in Alberta on Highway 881?
We've definitely watched this show, and I don't know if they specifically say what highways they're on that I can remember, but yeah, we watched almost every episode, and we've seen a lot of the stuff that he's done in Alberta, so it's pretty neat. It's neat being able to watch their show and how they do things over there because, again, this industry is so different from different areas, so it's neat to see that.
Yeah, we're big fans.
Yeah, right on. Gary, I'm going to come back to you here. How long have you and Tammy been married now?
We're coming up this year on 30 years.
Wow, fantastic, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure as a mom and a dad, and especially with Collin being involved in the business, let's just kind of backing up here a little bit. You've had a lot of conversations between each other about his involvement in the business, and what about the safety side of things? I mean, I've talked to Tammy several times and seen her on the Twitter. Like, it's got to be hard sometimes for a mom to step back and a dad, quite honestly, to be concerned about the safety out there. How do you handle that?
That's a tough one. That's a real tough one, and yeah, it's always there. The safety of Collin, the safety of all the staff. It's there, and we work really hard at making sure that we do things safely and we work within our load limits. We do a lot of training. We do a lot of different things that you don't see on the television show, but we work very hard at safety, and the reality is we have a very dangerous job, and sometimes just through sequence of events or whatever, things do happen, as they've shown on the show, with the trailer sliding at Collin a few years back, and other stuff that may or may not come up in the future.
Awkward conversations, but need to be had.
It is very, very difficult, especially for Tammy. That's always been for her. When I would go out at night 30 years ago, it was always a concern, right? And now it's a double concern for her, right? We go out and, although she's there, there's one ear and one eye open, and until she hears that door reopen again, or the phone call comes that, hey, we're continuing on with the day, we're done that job, it's a concern that way. And obviously with me standing on the side of the highway with Collin, it's always a concern, and lots of things can and do go wrong. It's not there's no textbook to this, and
right.
there's nothing that says do A, do B, do C, you know, and it'll work out to D, whatever, right?
Well, I mean, you can't get to a scene of the crime, so to speak, and you just can't be complacent at all in this business, right?
No. And what a lot of people don't see is, right, again, where we started with this is, you know, they do a great job of putting this show together of 15, 20 minutes of showing a 2, 3, 4, 8, 16-hour recovery.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time spent out on the side of these roads, a lot of hours, sometimes multiple days doing these wrecks, and you're tired. And so there's a lot of variables that work into what we do. And it's hard. It's extremely hard. And it's hard to stand there and watch him knowing the dangers and the risk that I feel I'm putting him at. And so I take it seriously.
Yeah. But and of course you would have to feel that way, and I do, like, say, I wasn't just picking on Collin. You do feel that way about your staff too, but as a dad and mom, there's that more of an emotional attachment there. But that being said, Collin made the choice to be there, right? Because he was given the choice. It wasn't like you're going to do this thing. And Collin, you got to go to school, and you had to do something else too, and there were rules, I guess, to being involved. Did you always like those rules, or did you just want to jump in?
You know what? I understood where they were coming from. You know, it's one of those things. They didn't want me to just jump into this and not experience life outside of doing this. They wanted me to actually get that experience, just in case that, you know, I did see something out there that I wanted to try before this. And,
Yeah.
you know, I appreciate that, because, you know, I do know a lot of people who are in, like, family businesses, and they're expected to be in those family businesses, and, you know, that's not a way to have it, because at the end of the day, either the next generation is just going to hate it, or, you know, they're going to do it. They're not going to know what they truly actually enjoy. So no, I'm glad I had that opportunity to go out there and really experience what I couldn't enjoy. So
yeah, I've always said, do what you love, or what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, really?
Exactly.
I mean, I get it. We got bills to pay. So sometimes you work full-time at your job and part-time on your passion so that you can get to that point. But, you know, that's a good point. You really got to love what you do. And it's totally showing here. Okay. I'm sorry to take away from you guys here for a moment, but there's like a special guest out here in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, Papa Bear is out there.
Hey, Rick.
Okay.
And of course, Lisa recognized that. Now he's kind of giving me a bit of a hard time here. He says, "Dave, I want to see the poster on your wall." Well, let me tell you, Papa Bear. Like, I don't know where you were like an hour and a half ago when I was talking about you behind your back. But I have the poster right here. I do have it. If you didn't see it, if I put this up on my wall back here, like I can't take. Like, I don't know where I would put it, Rick. Like, I would have to get rid of the Heavy Rescue 401. They've got a Heavy Rescue 401 up here you can't see. I'd have to adjust the camera. I don't know, man. Like, and I can't take me and my wife down. And then my motorcycle's important. Like, I don't know what to do. So you just give me an idea where you'd like to see that hanging. And if I can find a spot for it, I will. Yeah, he said he just got told about it, and he's saying, "Oh, for sure." Scott says the slow down, move over message is getting out there though because of you guys, and not just because of you guys, but we'll give credit to the company putting on Heavy Rescue 401 and the crew and everybody involved with that. That's nice to see. In fact, it's nice when I ride the motorcycle down to Wallaceburg, and you're coming in the Wallaceburg way, and there are signs right there that say "slow down and move over. It's the law." That must make you feel good when you see those signs.
Absolutely. You know, that's another part of what this has all been about. So just that education part to everybody out there. So, and knowing Rick's listening in, and I know it's the exact same thing for him. He's worked really hard at that through his entire career as well. And it's fun.
He said, I think he was giving me crap for not having the poster on the wall. Now he says, Collin never tells me when these things are on, I think. So, you know what?
I don't even know when they're going to be on.
Yeah, right? Like, Rick, you don't even know. Like, I'm hosting this stuff and I find out at 5 to 7. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll tell you what, we should have Papa Bear back sometime. He was a lot of fun to be on here, and we really had a lot of fun. He was coming to us live from the shack, I think it was. That time.
Yeah.
Put it underneath the 401 poster.
I think right below, like right below it, I'm assuming.
Well, like I don't like then it's way down here.
Yeah, your name kind of blocks it. We might have to get rid of your name there.
Might have to. The heavy rescue 401's up there. I'd have to tilt. I don't know. We'll figure it. Pressure's on now. I've got 4 weeks to figure it out, probably. Right?
He's on both those posters, just so you know. He's like right there.
Yeah, like right there. Like, what do you want, man? I sell advertising space if you need it. I could do that, maybe. How much you got? There was another one here. I know the answer, but maybe somebody new here. Kate says, how long have you been in the tow business for? Like, I guess pre-preferred towing too, you were involved in.
Well, yeah, so 30-year anniversary as well for preferred towing was May 1st, and it's 36 years for me.
Yeah. And what a cool thing you did, but you had to do it on a day where I couldn't get out of the studio. The rest of the city got free coffee, and I was really tempted to actually text one of you and say, like, could you deliver me a coffee?
You should have, but you never texted.
Well, I wasn't. Why would I? You don't get back to me. I think I say it's true. I talked to Gary's wife more than I talked to him. That's just that was really cool what you guys did. I know, again, giving back to the community, but Gary, tell everybody what you guys did to celebrate 30 years.
Yeah, so we went to 2 of our local coffee shops, and we bought coffee for everybody. Lasted most of the day, so I think one of the coffee shops went into the Saturday. It was a Friday. Our anniversary was actually on the Saturday, and one of the local Tim Hortons and one of the local coffee cultures, we went in and bought coffees for everybody that showed up that day, just as a thank you from us, for letting us be a part of this great community.
You know what? And I probably say it every week on my show, Gary, no matter who is on, we're all saying the same thing. Sarnia Lambton really is a community that knows how to come together in the best of times and definitely in the worst of times, as we've seen. And we can all put the whatever stuff aside when we need to support somebody. And I honestly couldn't imagine living anywhere else. I've been here all my life.
Yeah, same here. So it's a great community. So great to everybody else that's out there, but we love our little city and our little piece of the world. Yeah.
Where Jack Kane had another one that I thought would be good. I'm telling you, Gary. Oh, there it is. Gary, it only took over a year to see Collin without a hat. How long before I see you without yours?
Well, now I got hat head, so.
Well, actually, on his first interview, I don't think he had a hat on. I've always wore like a hat, but that's just my thing.
Yeah, I can't wear hats. They don't fit me. That's true. I got a large head.
You need a special hat. You need one of those new 3D printing is one of these new,
I just bought a 3D printer.
There you go. You can make a 3D printed hat, perfect for your head.
I'm not wearing hats.
True story. I have to wear a hat on the green screen because my head's too shiny.
As a green screener lighting guy, I totally get that.
I don't know what it is.
And they probably sat you down. They probably tried a few angles. They're being polite, and then they finally said, "Listen, man,
put it on."
Right? Let's go back into that. Actually, the green screen. When you guys are sitting down, in the chair to add your commentary into what's happening on the show, and we see a different scene but you got a green screen behind you. Did that take some getting used to?
Yeah, oh, for sure. That was different. Like sitting there and answering the questions, and most of the time we're talking about these wrecks like months after they've happened, so we have to remember everything as it's happening, and it's like speak in present tense, and that was always the hardest thing for me, was like getting to get myself to speak as I'm still there, not as I'm recounting it to someone else. So yeah, it's been fun, but it is a challenge to get used to that for sure.
Yeah. Well, and when you get old like your dad, though, he'd probably have a harder time remembering.
Oh, Dave, I love you.
People are going to be like, do they really like each other? It's been an ongoing love for many years. For sure. But Gary, same question to you. Was that some adjustment?
You know what? You're sitting there. You've got a green screen behind you, and you're staring, and you have to stare at the same spot. And then it's like I'll be sitting there, and my head tilts, I guess, and I'll be talking, I'll be doing this, and they're like, get your head straight or whatever. Yeah. You moved, and so you're staring there at you've got a producer. You got three guys you're looking at, and a camera and lights in your face, and
and you can't see anything, right?
You can't.
Like, what do you mean?
Put this light on. It's like,
what do you mean? Look at the camera. What camera?
No, it's don't look at the camera. Look at me.
Yeah, I looked across the.
Over here, you're looking at the camera.
It's the cross away shot. Yeah, I know.
You get into the giggles because somebody says something silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then calm down. I know they've got a whole bunch of blooper reels just hidden away.
Oh, no doubt.
Somewhere. But I like how you bring that up, Colin, about having to try to remember. Like you say, this could be like a year. Like there's some footage I know they've got from way back that they haven't put up. They still might put out at some point. And trying to remember which wreck was what and all that stuff. I've always been curious, and actually, I not too long ago I had a conversation with a couple of buddies of mine, and they're like, "So what do you know about this?" I don't know, but I've always get asked on like, do they tell you what to say?
No,
is it? It's just
no. They ask the questions. It all goes back to a production company, and I don't know if I'm allowed to tell everybody this, but no, they go through the footage and they have questions. That relate to what we are doing. So they ask questions and we give honest answers to it. So
yeah.
I always do you come sometimes there's one-liners in there. Do you guys come up with that?
Yeah,
do you think about that in your head? Who is?
Kyle.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. That's just him though, isn't it?
Oh, that is just 100% him.
He
he is just like that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is, he's got something to say about it. And no, it's usually something you say and you're half asleep after a wreck and you're saying something and then it turns into this big thing and they make a commercial out of it and you're like, oh no, I said that.
Did I even say that? Right. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, when I pull into the preferred towing yard, whether for whatever reason I'm coming by to see you guys, when I pull in the yard, I'm always looking around. And Kyle, if you're watching, I'm honestly, I'm always looking for him because he's just a fun guy to talk to, and he's just straight. Well, you guys know, I don't have to tell you, right? But I always want to hear what he has to say. And my favorite thing to say to him is, "How's it going today?" Because he'll tell you. Right?
You will get a straight answer.
I always do. So, Kyle, I miss you, buddy. I'm gonna have to find out what it's. I guess you're having to minimize people coming around. I know you still get a lot of people that want to come around and get pictures with the truck. Obviously, you can't let people in the truck right now because of COVID. But did you still get those requests even though COVID's going on?
Oh yeah, we get lots of people on a daily basis who contact us, and a lot of people are really good, and they're like, when COVID's over, we're coming down. So and other times it's just people dropping by and they pick up a sweater or a hat or something like that, and they get a picture with the trucks, and that's cool too. So it's nice to have that interaction with people still. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, like, well, I go by there a lot on either the motorcycle or when I'm on the show on the go or whatever. Those trucks are very strategically parked. Was that right, Gary?
They may be, yes. It's a great form of advertising. Our where we're positioned in the city is one of 3 roads that lead into the big industrial areas of our town. So we park them out there and get a little ad.
Yeah, they do. I know, and I know, like, and Canada Day coming up, like, hard to believe. Like,
Yeah.
Really, happy Canada Day coming. There will be some Canada Day celebrations here in Sarnia, just so you know. They will look a little different. But can we expect to see maybe a couple of booms up the air with a Canadian flag again?
I think so. I think we'll get a big flag up there again, as we always do.
Yeah.
We like our big flagpole.
Expensive flagpole.
Yeah.
$1 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Gary, when you look back, and I
can tell you how much the flag weighs.
Right. Woo, that was worth that $1 million. How much does that flag weigh? Can you lift it up there? Is it too heavy? Yeah. I really, one of these times we'll have to have both Gary and Tammy on here, because I think that'd be a lot of fun. But Gary, going back again to, I mean, you're talking like $1 million trucks, $500,000 trucks, whatever. Like, I'm guessing I'm in the right ballpark there, because I've Googled it. But I mean, you look to where you and Tammy are now, and go back to the 30 years, even 20 years ago, quite honestly. I mean, there was a time, I think you said to me once, like, I remember you said you bought a computer for like $3,000 or $4,000, and you were like, how am I going to pay for this? Right?
Yeah.
Those days are gone, but I mean, do you still respect those days?
Absolutely. You earn it, and you respect it, and as does Collin. I mean, he knows what it takes to do this, and we talk that way as well financially, and it's something that you got to respect where you came from, and something that Collin and I say on a regular basis. That I've told him, we've had some great years over the last little bit, but then COVID hits, and I said, you got to realize that businesses go through waves, and
that's right.
So you've got to respect that, and there's good times and lean times, and you just ride that through.
Yeah. How many times over the years, at least in the beginning, I should say, in the first, let's go in the first 3 years, 3 to 5, because I guess that's a real test of a business surviving, right?
Yeah.
Could you say how many times, like, you said to yourself, what the heck are we doing? Are we gonna
more now?
Right.
Yeah, and I think my head was just down, and I was boring through it. But yeah, you do what you do. You said it before. It's your passion. You love it. You're doing it, and you just know that you're going to succeed at it, and you work hard at it.
Yeah, yeah. Scott Elder says maybe Tammy could make a cameo appearance.
There we go.
Right? I think she's been on here before, I think. Didn't we have her on one time?
Yep.
Yeah, we did. Right? Yeah, that's right. Or we did have both of you on the same time, did we, Gary?
No.
Or was it just her and then you? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. She was, I think, like episode 5 or something like that.
Right. I think we had to actually twist her. I think I had to go to the office and like threaten her or something, because it was like, come on, and anyway. Now Papa Bear's picking on me. Much respect for you both. Oh yeah, you too, Dave. Love you. It's awesome. Sticking up for Gary now, right? He can handle himself. Stephanie says Jackson 5 from Strathroy loved coming by to check out the trucks and meet Collin.
Well, thank you guys for stopping by. Yeah, it's always fun when everyone stops by. It really is.
This one always comes up, and I can't resist it. You remember the mud run?
I get that almost every day. Someone brings that up. That one I will never leave.
I thought it would never make the show.
Right?
Yeah, that was a funny conversation. So that was making the show.
you could be remembered for a lot worse, like, quite honestly, Colin. You really could. But if we're still doing this 30 years, well, we won't be doing this 30 years from now. I probably won't be around, but I'm just saying. Here's an interesting one. Jay Bagalki, I'm sorry if I'm saying. Have you ever considered petitioning Canada Post to issue stamps for the towing industry?
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I know there was the U.S. Postal Service had it. We've actually got them in our office on some postcards marked and stamped and all that. That's really cool. But that'd be neat to the Canadian version of that.
Yeah, we'll have to contact Canadian Post and Canadian Mint, get a tow truck coin. That'd be kind of neat.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Where is this? Katie says this. I don't know if you give a shout about it. You need light up hats so you can be seen. You actually do have those, don't you?
Give me a second. I think I might still have mine somewhere.
Yes, we do have those. They haven't appeared as much on the episodes and that. We haven't done that many night runs, so
right. You get some pretty cool. I know. I borrowed a light for what was the Christmas drive-by Christmas parade, and I borrowed this magnetic light. Wow! Like,
it's not quite the halos.
Wish I'd have had one of these like way back.
Not quite the halos, but I got a hat with lights in it, and it is the greatest thing when you're hooking up underneath a car at night. The best thing ever.
Look at that! Like, he's just. You don't even have to pay him anymore. Just give him a hat with lights. He's happy looking up at the car. Yeah. But that's that is a big part of the industry now, is like even flares. Like, you don't really use flares anymore, do you, Gary? Do you have...
No, they're electronic flares. We've got strobe lights. They turn yellow, red, blue, white, you name it, all in one little cube. So.
Yeah. I see that. I hated flares. They were such, like, in fact, I really had a hard time lighting them. I was not good at that. I think that was my clue when I was moving on to other things.
Rick will remember this too. You light them and then you're choking to death on the fumes.
Oh yeah, right.
Lighting a flare and taste that for the next hour.
Right. There was something here about the police and involvement. I'll just try to remember it. But it was like the police are somebody that obviously you work with a lot, whether it be local and, OPP on the highways. I imagine really some pressure sometimes to get this highway open up, guys. You're running out of time. But I mean, how do you balance that between, like, well, we want to get this open really fast. We get that. But then there's a safety. There has to be a balance in that, Gary, I would think.
The truth behind that, we're dealing with a lot of entities out there. You're dealing with MTO, you're dealing with OPP.
Oh, right.
You're dealing with everybody, and they're all staring at me or at him, wondering how long it's going to be. But the other side to that is we've been here 30 years. We do a lot of cross training with the local fire departments, OPP. They all know who we are.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So they understand that we know our job. We're doing our job, and they respect how long it takes for what we're doing. They know that we're not clowning around, and that we're opening as quick as we can. And they appreciate what we do out there. The guys are fantastic, and there really is never, there isn't a lot of pressure of somebody tapping on your shoulder, how much longer, they ask how long, but it's not, they respect the fact that they know that we're doing our job and doing whatever it takes. And sometimes some are a little more challenging than others. So.
Well, and let's be honest, you guys don't want to be out there any longer than they want. you there. Like, you don't want to be there any longer either, because every minute you're out there is affecting your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the pressure is more on their end because they are getting called from their higher ups in other cities. Like, everything's controlled out of a central location, I believe in Aurelia or whatever. Yeah. And that's where the questions come from them. How much longer for this? Because they're sitting in a room that they have no idea what we're doing. They just know a highway's closed.
Yeah, they're maybe looking at cameras and going, "What's going on?" and whatever, right? And that's good. I would always knew that was an important part of having that relationship. And again, you mentioned it, mutual respect for each other's jobs. You don't want to be out there any longer than. I don't know how you do it. Like, we watch it on Heavy Rescue, and we see I can hear you swearing under your breath, because I know I would be. People still driving by fast and stuff. It's getting better, I guess, but until it's perfect, which I don't think it'll ever be, but we really got to get more and more of that word out there to slow down and move over. Like, and because I guess the other part of that, getting that open up quick, is while there's an accident on the highway, whether it's cars or whatever that looks like, there's an increased chance of another accident happening at an accident. Is that a fair statistic?
Oh yeah.
By far.
Percentages. Yeah.
And that just really comes from there's stupid people out there, I'll say it, who like to drive over lumber in the middle of the road. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. I
really like that episode.
Well, I just it's the stupidity. I don't mind being forward about it. It's like, what are you or people driving? There was another one. They're like driving down through the ditches. And it's like Forrest Gump. Stupid is, stupid does. Once one does it and goes through, somebody says, "Well, you can do it, so I can break the law and be stupid too."
Yep.
That's got to be really. I don't know if I could hold on to my emotion as a tow truck driver or heavy tow operator. That's got to be a big part of this job too, is holding your emotion.
Yeah, part of it is frustrating.
I guess as you get older too, right, Gary? Like, I actually remember, if we're going back when I worked for you, I'll never forget two spots. The old Canadian Tire. See, he already knows. You're coming out of there, and there was like a curve right in front of where the garage was, and it was like people just didn't stop. And one time I'll never forget, we went off the 402 at Molden Road, turn off, like going going east on the highway to Molden Road, and there was a Camaro, an old Camaro on the side of the road of that off ramp, and so you had to come through the truck, and then I forget why, but we had to back off that ramp. You were driving. And we had to back off that ramp with the car on the back. Because we picked it up from the rear, right? I think we dollied the front. Anyway, whatever. And backing up off of ramp. And there's people right at the front end of the truck. And your dad's driving, and he's, we're about the same age. So we were about the same age, right? And he's very calm. And then it was finally, I just remember, you just stopped the truck, and you were like, and you opened the door, and you're like, whoa, just wait. Like, you still have to do that sometimes. You got to direct people.
Sometimes you just got to give a little direction once in a while.
Yeah, right. I'll never forget that, because I'm thinking he's backing up here with a car. It's not like we were going forward.
Yeah.
It's not my choice to be here. I just have to be here.
Yeah. Right. I never forgot. Almost every time I come off that off ramp, I think of that. I went, well, yeah, every time. And the Canadian Tire thing, and your dad laughed right away, because that was a big, that was almost a test. And you guys can get into some pretty tight spots too. Like, I mean, I learned how to use my mirrors pretty quick, right? Do you ever, I saw something not too long ago, it was like one of your flatbeds took a vehicle over a fence and then down in or something.
Yeah, that was an interesting job. That really was. It was something, At first, my dad wanted to get the rotator in there, but there was no way we could get the rotator in, unfortunately. The driveway was too tight to make the corners. So, we came up with the plan of, well, all we actually have to get over top is this walkway on the beach crawler. We don't have to get the wheels over top because they're the same width as the opening.
Right.
So the flatbed's going to lift it up high enough that it's going to get it over. So we knew the flatbed would fit. It would be extremely tight, but it would fit. And it worked out really well. Both him and I went out there just so we could have the extra set of eyes, because that was definitely a 2-person job to make sure, because we had an inch of clearance between the wall and the deck on that truck. So it was a neat little job. It's stuff like that really gets you thinking.
Do you ever go together to a job and then you're looking at something and maybe one of you says, oh, no, you're not doing this one. And the other one says, oh, yeah, we can.
I don't think there is much out there that we would turn down. Like, it's realistically, if it's a vehicle or something in a spot, we'll try to get it out some way or another.
Yeah, I guess sooner, right? Because you pull up to Rex and you're just like again, heavy rescue. We're watching and it's like, what in the heck are they going to do? There's no way, right? But that's not being a tow truck driver, right? You guys have got that. I won't keep you too much longer. We're just having too much fun here. At least I am. And
there are people all over the world, Dave, going, what is Canadian Tire?
Right. Yeah, right. Canadian Tire.
Best fact, they have their own money.
More than just tires.
They have their own. They do have their own money, right? Here we go. This is
yes.
This is
and
great.
If I never see a tomato on a truck again, because I never have thanked Tammy for calling me and Jason that day, and I didn't realize how cold it was that night, because I gave my son all the gear, and I ended up sitting in the truck and warming up that night. But that's probably why Tammy hasn't called me ever again.
Yeah.
This was the tomato and the propane tank, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yes, it was.
This is season what? 3 or 4, Colin? 3.
Yeah, season 3, episode 2 and 3.
Yeah, and if I recall, this was like one of Collin's first really big jobs. Is that right?
Yeah, it was. It was one of my first jobs in the 50-ton. And it was a big job. This was a very big job. We were out there for 16 hours, and on top of that, we ended up. I ended up leaving with the propane tank, and then from there had to go to another recovery. So we were out there for quite some time.
Yeah, 16, and we were only out there for a couple hours, and I was like, I'm so glad I became a talk show host. Okay, so let's take a close look at this. Maybe you can. This is the back view. So where is this camera? Whose camera is this? Is this a vehicle?
Yeah, this is just a driver going down the highway.
Okay.
So what you're seeing is, from this point, the propane tank had already rolled over,
Right.
and they were stopping to make sure that the driver of that truck was okay. And the calamity ensues from there. It's crazy.
Right. Okay. Let's take a look.
Keep an eye on the truck as it's coming up, how close it comes to the back of the other truck. That's
right.
So everybody's slowed down because of the wreck.
And there it is.
Look at this.
And just wham! Like he just could have that could have gone really bad, worse bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just to the right of so there. That okay on the is this the propane tank right here?
Propane tanker right there. Yep.
Yeah. And this truck full of tomatoes. Let's go, and then somebody running across here. Yeah, and I guess that's an example of one accident has already occurred, and now another one because of that one. Yeah. And here's where that's the pressure comes along. Guys, get this. And I don't mean the OPP put it on. I just mean the pressure in general to go, okay, guys, come on. Like we got to get this done. And Gary, we've seen you a couple of times on Heavy Rescue 401 where, you're letting the guys do their thing and not any lack of skill on the guys, but things just aren't working out. And then you're kind of standing back and watching, but then there's a point you step in and you're like, okay, we're really, like, you really do push the limits sometime to go, I got to get this done.
Yep. Sometimes you're sitting on hour 12 or 16. You just say, all right, putting it all on the line. We're getting this done because I'm tired. I'm hungry, cranky, want to go home.
Right. Well, and that's another thing that you're dealing with. Like, I mean, how far, like, you can't just stop in the middle of something and go, I haven't eaten in 8 hours because I had a busy day. And I said, you know what? I'll come back and can we finish this in the morning because I'm hungry?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
You just can't do that, right?
That's the truth of it, right? That's what we do, and that's, again, going back to the beginning of this 2 hours ago. we had that discussion, right? There's times you're out there for multiple days doing jobs like this, and it's taxing on you. And you got to keep your wits about you.
Yeah. And then you need the break because, and we could do another hour. We won't, but we could do another hour or so on mental health in this job based on some of the things you witness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if there's any more here to see. Yeah. Well, this guy's slowed down. He's probably going, I don't want to be number 3. Exactly. And folks, if you want to check this out, Preferred Towing does have their official YouTube channel. Make sure you go to Preferred Towing Official. There's some imposters out there.
When did we get a YouTube channel?
Tammy and I worked it out, Gary. It's okay. Yeah, so you can go there, folks, and let's see. There's the back view. There's the front view of that as well. We got some drone footage in there, which, by the way, Collin, as soon as we get that really nice day, I'm waiting for the right day. I'll be. Yeah. I almost just drove down there the other day and did it, but I know you want to fly my drone, right?
Just call me anytime, and if I'm around, I'm down. If not, you're more than welcome to fly around the yard. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with that for sure. So okay, I think we've hit. There's a happy birthday, Collin, from Greg in Australia.
Thank you, Greg, and happy birthday back to you.
No one has their CB radios on anymore, Rick says, right? Do you guys have CBs in the trucks or just two-way radio commercial?
We have the CBs, but I honestly, I don't keep it on because just some of the stuff you hear on the radios anymore, it's just nonsense. So I turn them off.
Rick, if I see you, I turn it on.
There you go. I your dad will remember too. I was in CB when I was young, but I got my ham radio license around the same time I was working for them, and I'd have my radio by my side and stuff like that. And but I wasn't allowed to have it on while I was in the truck. Right, but we called it children's band, CB, children's band. That's back in the day. So I hear it. Okay, Collin, I remember posting a pic of yourself with frost all over your face and your eyelashes. How long was that job?
That was actually a rather short job. It was just extremely cold that day. So we were, that would have been job number 3 of that night. So we ended up actually we got the call for 3. We only ended up doing 2 because by the time we got to the middle one, actually, we looked at it and said, okay, it's far enough off in the ditch. The road is too poor of conditions. We're just going to leave this here for the night until the weather clears up. And then we drove back to the other one. It was actually blocking the highway. So it was like, okay, well, we'll get this one out of the way. And then that's it for the night. The weather conditions are too poor. But yeah, we were out for like maybe 30 minutes on that job. But just the wind chill on that was, I think, minus 45 or something like that. Snow was blowing. And it was just like, it was pelting you in the face. It felt like little pins going into your face. But no, that was an interesting job, that's for sure. And it was nice to have the face mask on for that one because kept me a little bit warmer.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. I know we really went over time here, and I appreciate you listening to the sound of my voice for 2 hours. And but it really is great when we can come out here, Collin and Gary. All kidding aside, really great to see you, my friend. I can't, hope to run into you in person again soon, and we can give each other a hard time in person.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, right on, man. So thank you so much, and just keep doing what you're doing, guys, and staying safe out there. I'll do what I always do. And Collin, any final thoughts?
Again, just thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Dave, for all the help with this. Slow down, move over, as always. And just enjoy the summer. It's coming up. I'm hoping to get out a little bit more. So hopefully the restrictions get lifted here and we'll be able to have people in the yard and checking things out again. But thanks again, everyone.
Right on. Gary?
Yeah, same. Thanks, everybody. Rick, everybody, Jared, all you guys from all over the U.S., all over the world, ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you guys watching, and we're just proud to be able to be on and do what we do.
Yeah, right on. And right now, everybody on Heavy Rescue 401, I believe it's 7 o'clock during the weeknights anyway, reruns of Heavy Rescue on Discovery Channel. And looking forward to another season. And we will be back again next month. I will try to stay on top of Collin a little more to make sure we give you more notice. We never know what's going on. I'm having second thoughts about having Papa Bear back. I'm just saying. I might. We'll see if I have his poster up for the next one. All sincerity, thanks, guys, and stay safe out there. Slow down and move over, everybody. Until next time, I'm your host, David Burrows. We'll look forward to talking to you again. Bye for now.